Rush Duels. Rush Duels are way better than any Yu-Gi-Oh format you've probably played that currently exists. And I know some of you might be thinking, you're just bad at Master Duel. You're just bad at GOAT format. But hear me out. I'm gonna ramble in this video, which I haven't done it on this channel ever. So if you guys are curious on why I think Rush Duels are peak, well, just sit down, grab some popcorn, relax. Hopefully by the end, you'll see my point of view of Rush Duels. Some of us already know Rush Duels is a new way to play the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. And yeah, I say the card game because we still have no news about it being released internationally. But for the past 4 years, Rush Duels have been a Japan exclusive format with a few exceptions, like Yu-Gi-Oh Rush Duel Dawn of the Battle Royale released in 2021, and more recently, Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links in 2023 with Sevens World and 2024 with Go Rush World. Now, these two entries are solidified in the Yu-Gi-Oh history, but it seems like we're getting closer to getting physical cards worldwide. At least that's what I hope, because I hope both games are doing very well. One of the reasons Rush Duel stands out is because of their simplified rules, because let's be honest, in the current Master Duel format, it's super complex. Between hand traps, chain combos, and needing to read paragraphs of card effects, it's overwhelming for new players. Or even for returning players, it's going to be hard. You can easily get lost by reading all of these effects and interactions. Rush Duel just eliminates all that. That's why it feels like a nice, fresh breath of air. Like breathe air. It smells nice with its Rush Duels. The game gives you an easy to learn format without sacrificing depth. Instead of waiting several turns to draw into your main play, in Rush Duels, you get to draw until you have 5 cards in your hand, and then it's +1 if you have 5 or more cards in your hand. It's about speed, momentum, and constant action. It's similar to the OG duel monsters where you just summon a monster, attack, hopefully you win. It's similar to that. In the Rush Duels, you're always doing something, whether it's summoning a full field of monsters or going in for that big attack. Rush Duels compared to the traditional format has simpler mechanics and shorter games to make it far less intimidating for new players. You don't need to sit there for hours explaining every single card type and every single interaction and every single meta interaction just to play Rush Duels. Rush Duels are easy to pick up and play. Yu-Gi-Oh at its core is about enjoyment, and I think Rush Duels capture that spirit better than the current competitive formats. You don't have to worry about spending hours learning the meta or collecting ultra rare staple cards to be remotely competitive. You could just run a rogue deck and that's probably competitive. Speaking of rogue, let me talk about the deck building for a second. One of the biggest complaints I've seen about the Master Duel meta is how restrictive it is.
Those don't feel good. If your deck has weaknesses to cards, you have to put cards in for crossout just to stay alive. That's not great.
And what I mean by that is, like, when you start playing decks like Cash, which is like 50% engine, 50% non-engine, you will brick a lot of your games.
If you're not playing the top tier decks, you're probably gonna get wiped off the board in turn 2. Rush Duels? Nah. Because there's freedom in deck building. You can experiment without needing a deck list from some pro player to survive. Like if you wanted to build a deck around low level monsters with no effects, go for it. Rush Duel makes these kinds of strategies more viable and competitive. This format I'm talking endlessly about encourages creativity without being held back by complex mechanics. That's what a lot of people need. Alright, let's talk about the long turns. Because everybody hates when someone takes a full year to do their play. Rush Duels have no time for that. That is complete nonsense to Rush Duel. I know some of y'all be thinking, isn't it Rush Duel just a watered down version of Yu-Gi-Oh? No. It's still complex. Rush Duels are still complex. Honestly, I argue that Rush Duels has its own complexity. Instead of memorizing endless effects and spending 5 turns to set up one combo, 10 years to summon up one combo, you're constantly adapting. The strategy isn't about overwhelming your opponent with the perfect field of unbreakable monsters. It's about managing your resources turn by turn. If you can react quickly and create opportunities, that's the essence of Rush Duels. Rush Duel may not have the same complexity as Master Duel or the TCG, and if that's your cup of tea, go ahead, play the Master Duel, play TCG, go right ahead. That's your cup of tea. But Rush Duels bring a different type of depth, one where it's fast decision making and quick comebacks are the name of the game. It's a nice, refreshing, exciting take on the formula. And why do people hate it? I'm always seeing comments on my videos saying people hate Rush Duels even though they haven't tried it yet. Hopefully by this point, you understand why I enjoy Rush Duels. They're more faster, they're more accessible, and they're just overall fun. They bring Duel Monsters and GX back to their former glory. The rush of excitement of drawing the right card, no pun intended. But like I said earlier, Master Duel is still fun. I'm still gonna play Master Duel.
IXC summon. Lear, let's recital Starling.
I'm just saying, I would prefer Rush Duels. A tribute summon for Vice Jacker. And I think you're pretty familiar with Vice Jacker's special ability. If you like long combos and good end results, then probably Master Duel's your thing. But if you want more engaging and fast duels, then Rush Duels are the way to go. And before I close on my very first video essay, why not you drop a comment? I'm curious on your take on the Rush Duel format. Do you hate it? Do you like it? Is it mid? Is Master Duel better? I want to know your take. I appreciate everyone who's gotten here. I was just rambling the entire time. I felt like I needed to get my opinion out so people would know, future people of the channel would know. I need you guys to know. Rush Duels exist. Rush Duels are peak. That's all I want you guys to know. I like Rush Duels. I hope you enjoy Rush Duels. And if you haven't tried Rush Duels, please try it. But I'll catch you in the next video.